Robert Plank Show, episode 303. 10 closely guarded membership site insights or breakthroughs to 10x your online income. Hi, my name is Robert Plank, and my website is membershipcube.com. That's membershipcube.com. That's a course about membership sites. It includes a bunch of software and plugins, including what we believe is the best membership plugin out there, Wishlist Member. And I believe that Membership Cube, the course, is perfect for you if you've been confused with all the overwhelm and the choices when it comes to creating a complete and profitable membership site. Because have you ever heard anyone say, oh yeah, just use one of these 10 payment processors, one of these 10 web hosts, one of these 10 plugins, one of these 10 themes? And that leaves me more confused than when I started. I'm not sure about you, but someone giving me 10 choices is not helpful at all. Now, what is helpful? Well, first, have a clear plan of action. So I'm telling you right now, if you want to have a membership site, a course, recurring passive income, all that stuff, use WordPress, which is free, to host it on your own website. And in Membership Cube, we'll give you the theme, which is the design, the look of your site, and we'll give you the plugins that take payments and do everything else. Okay, so we include a special tool inside our Membership Cube course that sets it all up in one click, which is your theme, your plugins, and a framework for content, so you can just edit some stuff and then drop in some video, PDF reports, whatever. You just edit the structure that's there, and then you can worry about the fancy stuff later. It's easier to edit crap than air, and don't let yourself get bogged down with all these unnecessary choices. Okay, so first thing, have a clear plan of action. Second, keep things simple. Don't get in your own way by creating 2 months without doing anything else, 2 months of content, or 6 months of content before you've done anything else. That's a good way to give yourself a ton of busy work. And by the way, what's the point of doing all that if no one is going to see the content, right? Don't tire yourself out making 6 months worth of stuff before even getting your first paying member. Instead, focus on completing that membership site and creating the bare minimum in place so that someone could join today. A lot of people kind of talk trash about the bare minimum, so to speak. I'm not saying to cut corners, but just create the bare minimum to make it work, and then add those nice to haves later on. And that means that if you only have time today to create a single web page, we call this a sales letter, you might call this a landing page or something, one web page, one button, $50, one time, none of this monthly stuff. Someone pays $50 one time, they get in a course. That is something that you'll put in place today. Now that's a must have, and then you can improve on a rainy day if and when you feel like it. So nice to haves are things like maybe you're going to increase the price, add a logo, add more explanation on the sales letter. But if you had a web page with nothing else on it but a button someone could click and buy, that is a starting point. That is more than what most people have in place. So create a way for people to buy access first, because you don't want to wait until the last minute to do that, and then you don't know if you'll feel like doing that one tiny little step later. Do it before your time runs out. Now, number 3, and this relates to the first thing we said, have a clear plan of action. Number 2, keep things simple. Now, number 3, do it fast. Chances are that you're the most excited about your membership site now, and 6 months from now, if a membership site or the thought of one is a burden, is a chore that you'll never set up and never finish, well then that's not good. So do it now while it's still fresh on your mind. Now, number 4, only focus on the things that matter. This is called 80-20, right? 80% of stuff doesn't matter, 20% of stuff does, and focusing on that 20% will give you 80% of what you want. Drip content, how pretty your site looks, all those sorts of things are not things that could double or triple your income, or even, get a membership site off the ground. Don't focus on those things. Focus on the low-hanging fruit instead. And what's that? Well, number 5, sell something that solves a real problem. Don't go for something that seems just interesting or fun to you. Sell something that solves a problem. Now, this alone is huge, and most of your competition, not all, but most of your competition does not get this. So think about this. What if you sold access to a membership site that talked about how to knit your own cable knit sweaters. Now, is that an actually desperate problem that people are willing to pay money for? It sounds like sort of a hobby, but it's not even that exciting or that popular of a hobby, so I doubt it. Now, how about a course on how to flip real estate? How about a course on how to lose weight? Well, people are asking for that, they're looking for that, and they're buying that, so you just have to add your own unique spin on that. Now, what about a course about how to get better grades? Or maybe something silly like how to learn to play the tuba, or how to save money couponing, or how to quit your day job in 9 years from today. Now, are people really asking for those things? Better grades, play the tuba, couponing, quit your day job? Maybe, but how about this? Are people looking to pay money for those things, right? Who's looking to get better grades? Well, is a high school kid or a college kid really going to have that much money? I don't know. Are the parents of those kids going to have a lot of money? I don't know. Learning to play the tuba? Well, someone's going to go and join the school band or get an instructor. Couponing? Are someone going to pay $1,000, $500, $100, $50 for a course on couponing? I don't think so. So, are people asking for it, but also looking to pay money for it? Now, on the other hand, I don't want to be a downer here, but think about some sort of fun stuff like drone racing, dating, weight loss. Or, these are very, let's even say weight loss, like a very specific way of losing weight. That way you can get that differentiation part out of the way, right? Stock market trading. People want those things. They're exciting. There's tons of competitors. And so that's sort of proving and blazing the trail for you that that's a feasible way of making money. So have a purpose and don't just run out the clock, because what's great about having a real purpose and keeping it simple, doing it fast, focusing on what matters, and solving a problem. That's what we just talked about, right? We said, number one, have a clear plan of action. Number two, keep things simple. Number three, do it fast. Number four, focus only on the things that matter. Number five, sell something that solves a real problem. All those things, real purpose, keep it simple, do it fast, focus on what matters, solve a problem. You can get to the money faster because you're not letting a bunch of things get in your way. You have course correction. Now, it's good to make mistakes in this case because every mistake leads to more money. Now, here's the thing, is I started with information products and membership sites by teaching something that was super nerdy. It was computer programming. And is computer programming, how to code a piece of software, is that a super sexy topic? Well, not really. And I quickly realized that my buyers were made up of two groups. There were other nerdy programmers like me who wanted to pick up some new skills, but here's the problem with those nerdy types, is that they refunded quite a bit, and it was like pulling teeth to even sell something for $10, $20. They just weren't buying. But I also discovered this sort of subsection of actual business owners who had websites and they wanted to use my plugins and my templates to make more money with their online business. These are people who wanted some simple instructions on how to write copy for web pages, how to create podcasts, and so on. And so if I were to start over trying to teach computer programming, maybe I would teach how to create an app and build a team to make the app for you or something like that. But what I realized of just this sort of trial and error, putting things out there, was that there were the target that don't want to say I don't want, but the target that was not ideal, right? Refunds a lot, doesn't pay a lot. But then I kind of discovered this sort of subsection, people who wanted to plug them this stuff into web pages, and that was really powerful. And sort of going back to this app idea, what if you taught someone how to make an app and gave them like tools and plugins and made like a one-click sort of app generator? Now we're on to something, as opposed to here's how to learn C++ and here's how to code your own app from scratch. Coding your own app from scratch is more like a $20 Udemy course. You want to have a $500 home study course. And so I hope that's not too geeky or too detailed, but the point is, put some stuff out there and see how people use it, and then adjust your business based on what those high dollar buyers use and want. And don't rely on what you just guess will sell. Because do people care about how many years you've been in business, or how many hours you put into creating videos, or even how many hours of videos you have total? Well, heck no. They care about the results that you'll give them, so sell those results. technical challenges shouldn't stop you. So here's a piece of advice number 6, and this is sort of getting into technical stuff, but not too much. Membership sites are just on or off. Now, what does that mean? It means that if someone buys from you at a membership platform like Wishlist Member, which we give you in membershipcube.com, if someone buys, they get access. They pay you money. They go to a page and it says, what username do you want? What password do you want? They do that, now they're in. But if they refund, then that username they created will no longer work, and they can never at any point create another username, right? So they pay you once, they create one username, we call this an account. They become a member, you could say, and then if they refund, that user, that membership doesn't work. Now, likewise, let's say that, so that's if they pay it one time, right? For $50 one time, one and done, they're in forever. If they refund, they're out. Now, if they pay you money on a payment plan, which is one of those nice to haves, right? Payment plan might mean they pay you $50 a month forever, $50 a month for 5 payments, and then after they pay it off, they enter for life, whatever. But if they cancel at any point, then it sends a signal over to your membership site to cut off access. That way, it's on or it's off. Super simple. And also, not getting too much into the technical stuff, but membership sites allow you to have these things called levels, which means you can have one site and sell 5, 10 things on the same site. Membership site levels. So number 6, membership sites are just on or off. Now number 7, everything is undoable on the internet. And this is even more so with membership sites. So I bring this up because I know someone who's been thinking about making a membership site for the past 6 years. And he still doesn't have one, and I know the exact reason. It's because he's afraid. But he's afraid for a reason. The reason is he thinks that if he makes a membership site, adds some videos, people join, they download, he thinks that the cost of people downloading will cost too much. It really won't. They'll pay $50. It might cost them like a cent in download fees, but he thinks that the cost of members downloading content will cost too much. And he hasn't made progress on his membership site in 6 years because a problem that does not currently exist, right? No content and no members. So he doesn't have members, and he's still making more and more content even though there are no members. So don't follow that path. I mean, I can't stop you. All I can do is tell you the way, and then you can decide what to do. But don't become another statistic. Stop thinking about it, because most things that you think are problems are actually not problems. Because your web host gives you a set amount of download space anyway, and they don't charge you when people download a bunch of stuff. And even if your membership site is so wildly successful, you can move to a thing called Amazon S3, and again, it's mere pennies for downloading stuff. So don't let just the fact that you had to pay a couple of pennies hold you up from making all your money from your courses. Now, number 8, bring your students, or you can call them buyers, students or buyers, bring them from point A to point B in an online course that you sell for, let's say, $100 to $500 a person. And I mean, I know that I started off saying like, well, don't give people choices, but I mean, I don't want to get you locked down to a price point, but I want you to think about this. Well, first of all, I want you to charge a bunch of money, right? If you can pay charge $50, $100 or more, charge as much as you can, because your time is valuable, your information is valuable. And here's kind of going to demonstrate the point of that, is how much does a book cost? Right? How much does a Kindle book cost? A digital book? Well, usually 99 cents. Maybe $3, maybe $4, but I mean, usually 99 cents. How about an audiobook? Well, audiobooks used to cost $50 because you get like a cassette tapes or CDs, but now an audiobook is $9 on Audible, maybe $15. And if you say, okay, well, that's just a book, I want to get like video training and stuff, well, you can go to a site called Udemy, that's Udemy, and a course is about $20-$30, right? And that's about it. Well, why is that? Because a regular book only contains chapters. A Udemy course only contains some basically video chapters. And you can call those lists. You can call those tips. Now, a list of tips, that's cheap. That doesn't really get you anywhere, right? That doesn't include extra tools and things like that. So instead of trying to play that game, figure out where your course will end. your weight loss course, your dating course, your drone racing course, whatever. Figure out like what do you want to build people up to? Okay, what will people have at the end? Now, this is really important. We're not talking about what they discovered, what they've learned, stuff like that. What will they actually have set up by the end? And then you just break things down into 4 milestones. So, for example, we have a course called podcastcrusher.com. If you're listening to this podcast, want to make one like it, you can. Podcastcrusher.com. We show you all that stuff. So the end goal in that course is for you personally, I'm talking directly to you listening, you personally have a podcast set up with episodes, traffic, and guests. Now we say that's what we want you to end up. Now, how do we break that down into manageable chunks? Well, how about in the first module, you create and publish your first podcast episode that gets you a live podcast show on iTunes, Apple Podcasts they call it now, but you have a show, an online internet radio show that is live in the first module. And module is about 60 to 90 minutes. Module 2 is where we get a little fancier and add music, graphics, and more content. Module 3, we focus on ranking your podcast and getting yourself more listeners. Module 4 is how to promote your podcast with pre-selling, sponsors, and affiliate products. So each module, like I said, 60 to 90 minutes. And then we have an assignment at the end, and we like to call it a challenge because an assignment, homework, who wants that? Challenge. I'll challenge you. A challenge makes sure that your people don't get overloaded with all those choices, tips, possibilities. Instead, they take action. Now, a bonus here is by having a membership site that's a course, which means it has a clear end goal. It's not just piling on tips like on and on and on. A clear end goal, a light at the end of the tunnel, and not useless monthly tips that last forever. Okay? Because you do this, here's number 9, don't create the content first. Don't launch with all the bells and whistles like bonuses, training calls, software, coaching. In programming nerdy terms, that's called scope creep. That's a guaranteed way to make this easy problem into a hard problem by adding yourself all this work. Save that for the next time you promote this offer because that's a bonus you can add in. And you can wait until you get some initial customers and maybe ask a few of them like one-on-one and privately if you're thinking about adding a bonus similar to this and ask them if that's something that would be welcomed, right? If they're thinking about adding a one-on-one kind of coaching call or an extra video on something advanced, sell them the simple stuff first and then kind of reach out and ask if they like that free bonus and if they're stuck and if that would get them unstuck. So that way you're giving your best buyers what they want instead of guessing because you don't want to give yourself what you want because that's sort of like you already know it, you're just making stuff up, and then don't necessarily just give everybody everything they want because you don't know if you're optimizing for your buyers or not, right? So number 1, have a clear plan of action so you know when you've arrived at your goal. Number 2, keep it simple. Number 3, do it fast. Number 4, focus on what matters and don't spend too much time on things like upsells or video number 20 if no one has even joined and watched video number 1. Number 5, solve a real problem. Number 6, membership sites are just on or off because someone is either a member in good standing in your site or they aren't. Number 7, everything is undoable with membership sites, so don't stress out about future technical problems that may or may not even happen. Everything is undoable with membership sites. Number 8, get your buyers from point A to point B. You can call these milestones. And once you figure out what you're building towards, you can kind of work backwards and figure out what each of your modules are in your course. And you can ensure that each 60 to 90 minute module with a video, with challenges, with maybe a checklist or something later on. But those milestones are now important, right? Every module is there for a reason. It's ordered in a certain way for a reason. And that first module gives them a really big bang for their buck. The first module in Podcast Crusher, you have a podcast online. The first module in Membership Cube, you have a membership site online. Don't make the mistake I saw once of a membership site filled with copywriting, interviews, and tips that said by the end of month 2, you'll start to have an idea of what to put on your sales header. Don't do that. Now, the best thing I can tell you today to get up and running with your membership sites is don't start with a monthly forever site out of the gate. Right? A lot of people talk about like just have a $10 a month site or a $5 a month or a $20 a month. And they don't really give much advice past that. They just say, oh yeah, just go ahead and do that. And I'm thinking, yeah, but filled with what? And the idea is that it's such a low monthly fee that I guess you can just hide and someone will like forget to cancel, and just you're giving away tips no one will see. I don't understand it. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It doesn't even sound like a real business, right? So don't start that way. Start with a course that's a single payment that has one solution that solves one problem and charges one single payment. Someone pays, they get access. If they stop paying, they lose access. And I honestly think that's the best bang for your buck right now. Make a membership site, use WordPress, join our Membership Cube course, which includes Wishlist Member, and create a one problem, one solution, one payment course with 4 modules, and then you can add the fancy stuff later, right? You can add payment plans, upsells, monthly stuff. You can add all that later, but what's important right now is that you create a membership site tonight so you can finally get it in place, get that first paying member, and make money. And that means you'll finally get rewarded for your online efforts as opposed to continually starting new projects and not finishing and not seeing any real results. Instead, create a membership site. Keep it simple, and our membership course at membershipcube.com will get you to do that. So thanks for listening. I'm Robert Plank. Go right now to membershipcube.com and join it and get your membership site set up online tonight the easy way. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you again soon.